And we are live with the Live Reality Games podcast. My name is Nathan from Big Brother Columbus 7, and we have Lee from Scotty Survivor here to cover the fourth episode of the Challenge All-Stars. We're breaking away from amateur reality games and trying to cover something that's just a passion project of ours, because we're both huge fans of the challenge. Lee, how are you doing this week?
Doing great. We had an amazing episode this past week. Lots of answered questions, lots of decisions that were made. Can't wait to get into it.
Yeah. It's fun. This episode was fantastic. It was such a breath of fresh air. The season has been good so far, but this is by far the best episode yet. In the past week, actually, I've been continuing to watch my own challenge watch through of other seasons. I made it through War of the Worlds 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I really liked War of the Worlds 2. I miss the team challenge format. There hasn't been one in so long. So that was kind of refreshing. And this episode was refreshing too. It just kind of like we got to see a lot of alliances, people working with who everyone's working with. What were your impressions from this?
This episode, we got a lot of we're seeing a lot of people are working together. We're seeing who really works with who. We're seeing who really doesn't trust who.
Yeah, for sure. And it was good politicking going on. The lifesaver finally came into play. We'll get to that later.
The age-old question has finally been answered. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, as for what the lifesaver, how it works, they finally got that answered. The episode title for this episode is "Semi-Charmed Lifesaver," which
hint.
love some throwback.
Where
song
the title
references.
Where the title of the episode literally spoils the whole episode.
Yeah, there is that, which is fine, because the suspense was like, what does it even do? Is it going to be Mark choosing it? Is it going to be the vote?
Does Beth get to choose?
Yeah, it would have been exciting if Beth got to choose. I mean, the result would have been the same.
Well, she kind of did choose.
Yeah.
Just in not the way we were thinking.
Yeah. And probably if she was choosing, we wouldn't get a blow up like we got.
Yeah. Gemmy's dream finally came true.
Yes. Oh, it was so good. So let's go back to the beginning of the episode. We had just finished the guys' elimination. Nehemiah is back in the house, and he's talking about what he wants to do with the money. He wants to open up centers to help underprivileged communities find financial freedom. And we see Gemmy and Nehemiah coupling up. And is this the first time we've seen them together so far this season?
Yeah. Gemmy and Nehemiah have never done a season together in the past. This is the first season they're doing together. Gemmy is known for her political strength, and that's what she's doing with this challenge. Nehemiah is not known politically. He's known more physically and mentally. So it's Nehemiah is the strength and Gemmy is the brains, which is a phrase nobody thought they would hear of Gemmy being the brains of a group.
Yeah, I think this is a good coupling. I think it kind of plays into, we see this group form, which is Gemmy and Nehemiah, and then there's Beth and Cyrus, and they kind of have this foursome. I love this alliance. I'm totally on partially because of Beth, but I think this is, and Gemmy, I think this is a great alliance. I hope they go far. I'm really pulling for the Beth, Gemmy, Nehemiah, Cyrus group here.
Yeah, it'd definitely be interesting seeing them go far, because these are people that usually don't make it that far because they're not good at challenges. They get targeted, or if they're Beth, they get hated.
Yes. Beth has the perfect ability to make people hate her for no reason.
Yeah, she just has that presence. She just walks up and then everyone's just we have to get rid of her.
Yeah, but I really love this segment. We see Beth talking with her husband and kids, and it was really cool to see just this different side of her. You know, she's over 50 years old. She has a family. She's a mom. Like this is a different Beth than we saw, 15 years ago. So it was really cool to see her talking with her family.
Yeah, no more shit stirring Beth. We now have loving mother Beth.
Yeah, well, and maybe she still has the shit stirring in her. I bet she does if she
I think
wants
that's
to.
more of her child that has the shit. She'd pass it on to her challenge child. Like, here you go. It's now your turn. Make mommy proud.
Oh gosh, what if we have like a Bloodlines like OG season, like bring in just parents and kids?
Oh my god. That'd be just a nightmare. Parents watching their kids going through these challenges.
Oh, give it 10 more years, and we can actually probably cast a season of just
Yeah.
parents and kid pairs.
Oh my god. Make it happen.
Yeah, okay. This is our when you run out of season ideas challenge, producers. That's your next one.
Yeah. We get mini CT acting like old CT, and then current CT is like, oh god, is this what I was like back in the day?
Current CT, he's so much more mature, but he's not any worse at the challenge than he's just as good as he was before.
Yeah, he's just more political.
Yeah, which is smart. I mean, you don't want to go in eliminations, and he's good at staying out of them.
Well, except nowadays you have to go into eliminations.
Yeah, that's a thing. I like this when Beth says but Cyrus, I'm old. Cyrus says, consider yourself classic.
I mean, she is. She's the OG, like, villainess of the challenge.
I think she looks great for her age. I mean, I
She looks
wouldn't
the
be able.
exact same.
Yeah, I'm like, I couldn't tell you that you're over 50. There's like, I would
Yeah.
never guess that
Yeah.
decade
I
for
keep.
you.
Yeah. I remember like her last season she did Gauntlet 3. Everyone being like, Beth, you're old. Get out of here. Time for the new squad. And now she's like here.
Yeah,
Here,
and
like,
she was only like 30 then.
Yeah. So she's like in her 30s, and she still looks like she's in her 30s. And now she's here with a bunch of other old people. Oh,
Yeah, it kind of balances it. Okay, this next segment we see is maybe one of the weirdest ones I've seen in recent years. This is like a throwback to the really early seasons in their terms of editing. We see this really trippy segment of Orisa burning incense and talking about how she works as a cannabis chef.
I mean, she's Alton said it where she's a lot different from when we first saw her on even her Real World season or Battle of the Sexes 2. She's less wild, more stoned.
Yeah. Well, yeah, originally I thought she was Zen and like just Zen, kind of a yogi
like
type
peace
person
of
until
mind.
this episode where she reveals that she works as a cannabis chef, and probably they don't allow weed in whatever country they're at. But
Argentina?
Yeah. So
Somewhere cold.
So I guess burning some sage is the next best thing.
Getting rid of the bad spirits.
Yeah. Did she have some demons to work out?
Clearly. I mean, we'll get onto it.
I don't know that it worked. Spoiler alert for the end of the episode. I don't think burning the incense actually helps her.
It did the opposite, really. The smell just made her the most like attractive. Like everyone sensed her smell.
Well, she feels some type of way about not winning her last season, but yeah, I feel like she let out a lot of feelings this episode. She didn't really hold back.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Dustin's
everyone-
in the comments. You too rock. Thanks, Dustin.
Thanks.
Yeah, if you are watching along, feel free to add some comments. Let us know what you think of this episode.
Who's your favorite challenger? Who's your least favorite?
Spill your tea.
Yeah.
Treat this as your confessional. We are happy to listen. So we get to Mark. Mark talks about how he has a good bond with Orisa. I thought this kind of came out of left field here.
Yeah. I mean, They were on Battle of the Sexes too, but
I don't
I
remember
think
them ever
I think
interacting.
ever no, like I feel like Mark just has a bond with everyone except for Kendall because like Mark's the godfather of the challenge, so everyone's like it's Mark Long. So he just feels like he's everybody. He's like everyone is his disciples, and then there's
Yeah.
Kendall.
Oh my gosh, I think Dustin shouted out Tamika Kelly. Tamika, if you're in the chat, if you're watching, hi.
Hi.
Um, so then we get Katie talking with Derek, and I love this duo. Katie and Derek are two of my favorite OGs. And she's talking about how she was working out before the show, but she wants to keep that on the down low because and let everyone think that she's a layup. What do you think of this strategy?
I think it's very smart of Katie because Katie is always known for never being good at challenges. Um, and now that she like actually works out now and could be good at these challenges that don't involve heights over water, like she could be somebody everyone sees like, oh, I won Katie in a final because I know I could beat her. And then she's in that final running laps around everyone, being like, shit, I shouldn't have had this girl.
Yeah, we have Tamika. Hi, Tamika. Thanks for
Hi.
watching. We have Tamika was on my Big Brother Columbus season, so
Oh.
yeah, it's been a while. It's good to see you. Um, I don't like
Yeah.
this strategy at all.
Oh
Just
no.
because I think the challenge is all about setting a reputation for yourself. You have to set a reputation in order to stay out of eliminations. Whether that reputation is to like be dragged to the finals or reputation that you're too tough to go and compete against. And especially for Katie, her positioning is that she's already considered a layup by a lot of people. That she should be trying to assert that she's not a layup. She should be trying to not get thrown into elimination. So I think she should be hyping up her abilities, her physical prowess, and make people think twice about putting her in.
I think Katie feels like I think this was a good example of Katie thinking like she has a lot of friends that are willing to protect her.
I
So
hope
and then
so.
she I mean, clearly we saw it today. We'll get into it.
Yeah, yeah. And but the extent of how far that protection goes, and we'll see. If she has Derek on her side, that's a good ally to have.
Yeah, you
Obviously,
don't want to go up against Eric.
no, no, you don't.
No.
Um, so then we get to the challenge, and this is on the ropes. We have two platforms, and it's four teams of five trying to cross to the other platform along some ropes. And if you go there, cross and go back, you can let loose a rope on the other team. And so it kind of became, um, and kind of became this race to see who can get done first, so they can start to get the advantage. And each team has to choose a male and female captain. Um, what do you think you should choose a captain? Should you be a captain in this situation? Like Lee, what would you do?
Well, considering it was a female elimination, yes, because it wouldn't have mattered for me.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
You could see like a lot of people did not want to be captain because you had like Gisela saying like I'm not being captain, I don't trust you to try, and then Orisa
mhm.
saying to John A like we were already captains, it's your turn now.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
really
definitely have
tricky.
people not wanting to be captains. Like even Beth was like I don't want to be captain. Like her and Gemmy were like you have my back, I have yours, and Beth was like okay. Every captain I think was either put in a position where they had to be captain. They didn't choose to be captain, except
Hmm.
for Ruthie, where she happily volunteered.
Yeah, I think with between Beth and Jemmy, they're working together, so it's kind of like a toss up for who's going to be the one to go in. I think it was interesting with the Kendall and Gisela dynamic because Gisella's like, "I don't trust you, Kendall," and if that's the case, it kind of does make sense to say, I'm not going to be it because I don't. I think you might be willing to lose or not try as hard, and then I'm the one who's in elimination. Which, granted, if you're Gisela and you don't trust Kendall, maybe you should lose.
Yeah, maybe she should have thrown the challenge and
Yeah.
try and get Kendall in.
Because, like, if you're not captain here, do you really get anything out of winning? If
No,
Yeah,
you just get to say like you were in the team that won the daily.
yeah. So I think here's, and this is maybe not the greatest dynamic for this round, because if you're not the captain, there's no incentive to try. There's no incentive
Yeah,
to actually win. It's
yeah, like
unless you're allies with them.
yeah. Really, this captain twist really only makes it for everyone else. They get nothing if they win. Like they don't also get safety.
Hmm.
I kind of wish it was like that, and they elected a captain, and the captain would just receive the lifesaver or something.
Yeah, yeah. Instead of the safety or something. Yeah. If I'm Gisela, I'm throwing that challenge. Yeah, if there's another, especially if you're a female, like, because then hey, I'm not going in elimination, and she can't really vote for me because she can't vote if you're the elimination person.
Yeah, unless Kendall can get a group of people to vote in Gisela for throwing.
I mean, for this challenge, it would have been hard to tell if you're throwing it.
Yeah.
You could just go slow, and
Go
then they'll
slower when
and then
they
they'll
drop a
drop the
rope, being like,
yeah,
yeah.
which I guess gets to yeah. I think the other move is, and you mentioned this, if you are a guy on a girls' elimination, absolutely volunteer, because you can get that power. And then, especially this early in the game, when it comes to next week, if there's captains again, you can kind of throw your hands up and say, I
Being
was
like, I
just
was captain
captain.
last. Yeah,
I don't
I was
want to do it
captain
again.
last time.
Yeah, which is not an equivalent, but like any excuse you can have to like logic your way out of being on the line is great. Um,
The only thing that wouldn't work is like if you were put in a team and both of the guys were captain last game. Like I was captain
mhm.
last game, so was I.
Yeah,
Got a
yeah.
problem.
But they're not going to do the same size group 2 episodes in a
Yeah,
row. They're
we'll
trying to
probably do
vary.
it. We'll probably do like a pair or elimination or individual challenge soon.
Yeah, because there's been 2 small group challenges in a row. So
Yeah,
yeah, probably next week. Um,
hopefully.
yeah. What did you think of this challenge itself? What did you think of it?
I mean, it's a classic challenge of just like going across one way. I did like the added on twist of letting go of a rope because it added more than just racing across, and even if a rope drop as we've seen, you can still keep going.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the teams have the same strategy with going like get the bottom ones gone first, that way they have nothing to stand on. I think it might have not been a good strategy, but for me I would have gone for the top ones because you can easily hold on to top ropes more than walking on lower ropes.
Mm.
So if
Well,
I got
yeah.
say it, because they were a lot lower, so it would have been more difficult to jump down and do the like hanging from one rope thing. That was a
Mm-hmm.
lot easier with the top ropes, but maybe it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, but then they can kind of like crawl along it, which we saw a couple people try doing. I didn't care for this dynamic too much. I didn't. The thing that I didn't love was that it was once one team got in the lead, it was like impossible for the other team to catch up.
Yeah,
So that's why we got both rounds. It was like a 5-1 ropes, and that it just kind of seemed really skewed. I almost wish they had just done it to where you can just where the ropes would just be automatically dropped at a set period of time or something like that. Um,
yeah, like intervals, like
yeah, yeah.
or something like your team hangs on, and then we're going to slowly get rid of ropes, and the last one standing.
Hmm. Yeah, or they did more rounds of it, to like do a losers bracket, winners bracket,
Yeah,
something
I
like
was
that.
surprised they didn't do that. I thought they were going to do like a loser bracket and winner bracket.
Yeah, because just the way it was structured, they either needed more rounds or to change the way the ropes were undone so that it wasn't so lopsided.
They should have it where like teams would meet in the middle and have to try and get past each other.
Mhm. Yeah, that would have been good too. Like kind of maybe like a crisscross situation.
Yeah.
Um,
So
so
it's like, do I try and get past or do I try and knock down my opponent?
yeah. Well, first we have the black team versus the copper team. The black team is Kendall, Latyrian, Kellyanne, Darrell, and Gisela. And the copper team is Orisa, Big Easy, Janae, Alton, and Katie. And you see Alton get across first. It was Alton versus Kendall at first. And I think the move here is to send your best person first if it's going to be this kind of landslide kind of effect of dropping the ropes. So Alton beats Kendall, and that just sets up their team to do better. But Kendall holds on. So they actually were pretty even for this one, though.
Yeah,
Then it
Kendall was keeping up.
Yeah, I think it was Gisela who actually messes up in some ways.
Yeah, I think she fell in.
But she didn't even ruin it for her team because I think she fell too quickly. So this one was pretty even initially, but I think it was just because that second round of people, Janae versus Kellyanne, was pretty even.
Yeah.
And then it started to fall off of that.
We got a moment from Janae where it looked like she was about to fall, and she managed to pick herself back up.
Yeah, that was a good catch. Big Easy on ropes. Not great.
No, not at all.
Looks like an overgrown leprechaun taking a shit on the wire.
Yeah, I take offense to that being an Irish lad.
Oh, that he's best on the ground.
Yeah, he's best head to head.
We'll say that for Big Easy. He's best on the ground. Katie's too short.
Yeah, like Orisa was telling Katie, Katie, go," while she was just standing there. She was tall. Orisa was taller, much taller than Katie. She could have, but no, she was like, "Katie, go." And Katie's like, "I can't. I'm too short and I'm not good with heights." Have you not seen the last Heights Over Water challenge?
The challenge has seriously traumatized her. Like she needs therapy or something because this is not something she's over.
The amount of injuries the girl has gotten from falling from great heights over water. And we've seen in past challenges a lot of people going to hospital and being medevaced from falling awkwardly from high places.
Oh, yeah. Even this season, she's bled from her face.
Yeah, and that was only the second challenge.
It was trivia
challenge.
Oh, so she just jumps in. You know, I think she's just said, yeah, if this is the type of challenge, I'm just gonna lose.
Yeah.
It's fine. Okay, we get that.
Yeah.
It does remind me a little bit because this was kind of the mentality in some of the early seasons. Do you remember those early season challenges where they had to like get in like Speedos or whatever to do whatever challenge it is, ice rubbing or mud wrestling, and there was always
smashing.
Yeah, and there would always be like a couple people in those early seasons who would just say, I don't want to wear a Speedo on camera. I'm just not going to participate.
Yeah, I think the most notable one I can remember is the Inferno 3 one where Ace, Alton, and Timmy said they're not wearing the Speedo for the grape smashing challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy because I think he was a little older and self-conscious. Alton because he said his thing down there would have been too big. And Ace because he wore a Speedo backwards on Gauntlet 2 and didn't want to go through that again.
Yeah, they're probably not going to get as much... Katie's not going to get as much blowback for this. But yeah. I do think it's interesting, like, when you look at the history of people who just don't want to do a challenge for whatever reason.
We even saw a flashback to Gauntlet 3 where it was a height challenge and Katie was like, I'd rather go into a gauntlet than do this.
Yeah.
And had her whole team screaming at her.
And here she goes, trying to go into elimination because she just quit. And so this first round, we have the black team wins, and it really came down to Kellyanne and Kendall carrying the team. Kellyanne has been underrated so far.
Yeah. She mentions that her and Kendall are close, that they are working together. They were teammates last challenge. They won together.
Mm-hmm. I think challenge-wise, they are a very strong pair. Politically, maybe not as much.
Definitely not Kendall.
Yeah. And Kellyanne, I don't know that she can really do that well politically either.
I mean, nobody's really. We haven't seen a lot of Kellyanne outside of just like a few funny moments.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's knowledge that I think they're working together, but I think Kendall's getting most of the heat that people are probably not paying that much attention to Kellyanne.
It may prove to be trouble, though, if Kellyanne and Kendall are seen as being close, and Kendall is
Under fire.
under fire, and then if she wins safety, who's the next best option? Kellyanne could easily find herself in elimination the next time.
Yeah. We've seen in like all these game shows, reality game shows, like if you're associated with somebody that people are targeting, you will get under fire by that person, with that person as well.
Yeah.
But Kellyanne is good in eliminations. Like she has a good elimination record. So even if she goes in, she could easily win.
Oh, for sure. She's not a layup. That's
Definitely
for certain.
not.
So we get to the second round, and it's the gold team, which is Yes, Ruthie, Derek, Anisa, and Mark, versus the silver team, Cyrus, Gemmy, Nehemiah, Beth, and Darrell again as a bonus member. Should they have gotten the bonus member? I feel like they should just maybe just be stuck with less people.
That or just divide the teams up evenly, or don't make this a challenge where teams are even and make this one different.
Darrell seems like an unfair add to any team.
Well, actually, Darrell isn't the best over heights, so. But apparently, it didn't show in this challenge.
No. Because then we see in this challenge it's Nehemiah versus Derek first. So I guess they both tried to send out their best person, but Derek is so much faster than Nehemiah, and then it just the silver team just gets demolished from there. Yeah, so this was frustrating to watch. It seemed like the team was just a mess. Silver team.
One by one, they all fall.
And so the gold team wins overall. Ruthie is safe. Mark has the lifesaver, and he's ready to use it. Did you think he was going to?
I mean, yeah, he put on this whole performance on, like he was going to use the lifesaver. He wants to know what it would happen, and I think everyone was knowing. Like, I think the curiosity built up so much to where, like, all right, I'm using it no matter what.
He's an interesting one though because he has so many friends. So it's like, what do you do? Do you like show your cards at that point if you have so many friends? Are you like? I feel like Mark could have really gotten himself in a political pickle here if let's say if Orisa got voted in and then didn't go home.
Yeah.
She would have probably held it against him a bit.
I wonder if he would have used it if it was Kendall thrown in.
Probably. I think
no,
that's probably what he wanted to go in.
No. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about if Katie didn't volunteer and Kendall was voted in.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think he would have used it.
Yeah.
So Beth is going to the arena. She lost as the team captain, and I am worried because this is Beth. Beth always goes into elimination like episode 4-ish, and usually she comes out of that, but she hasn't always. Episode 4 has been a rough episode for her in the past. So I was sweating for her, but fortunately it seems like she has this tight alliance, and they are backing her up. Gemmy, Cyrus, and Nehemiah, and they're guessing correctly. We see this conversation with them talking about the options, and they're talking about Katie being an option because Mark is close to her, and if they vote in Kendall, Beth will probably lose, and so Orisa is kind of left as the best person to vote for them, just kind of process of elimination, and Beth is hoping that Mark and her relationship will goes far back enough that he will set her up well for this challenge.
I mean, Godfather and Godmother, like, one was on the very first Real World, the one was on the very first Road Rules. They're both on, like, they're classic Survivor, Jesus. Classic challenge players.
Yes, these are really the OGs. And so, yeah, I didn't want to see Beth go here. It was cool to see Mark in power. What did you think of the vote itself with Katie volunteering to go in?
I think Katie knew that she was not going into elimination, even if she volunteered.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was like, I'm going to volunteer because I can use this as an excuse, like, I quit the challenge, I'll go in. But I think she knew Mark was going to use the lifesaver on her. So I was like, I'm going to throw myself in no matter what, because I know I'm going to be safe, and let's see what this lifesaver can do. And I'm going to be safe from it if it's something that's unpredictable.
It sure seems like she did know, and she probably had a conversation with Mark, but honestly, I'd still want to hear people vote just to see what they do.
Yeah. You know, Gemmy was fuming when Katie nominated herself.
Yeah, we're not voting again!
like, I'm sick of these people throwing themselves into elimination, which I feel like Gemmy is projecting frustration of modern challenge seasons where it's like everyone's nomming themselves to go in.
But it's okay, Gemmy. You're gonna get your vote in a little bit.
Don't worry, Gemmy. You'll see people throw each other under the bus.
Yeah, we get that eventually. So we have some people go to the bar, and Mark decides to hold hold court as the Godfather wearing a crown. And he's basically just making deals with everyone right out in the open. This was fun.
Oh god. I think Gemmy said it best when you have a man-child calling himself the Godfather. Oh my god.
The crown is what did it for me. It's just
the crown was so stupid. Where did he get the crown?
I don't. It looked like he made it because it said the Godfather on it. So it looks like they cut up some cardboard or something. But we see a few more dynamics here. We see that Orisa's not used to being around people all the time. She needs her space. She's an introvert. You know, this is a lot of humans all in one house, all up in your business.
She's social distancing.
She's social distancing. This is good, right? And Alton recognizes that Orisa has changed a lot since their Real World season. And yeah, I mean, these people, it's 20 years later, they're gonna have they're gonna have changed a little bit.
Not everyone's gonna be the party freak they were 20 years ago.
No, most people settle down a little bit. Maybe not Mark.
No,
most people do.
Mark's living in the moment.
Yeah. So Mark talks to everyone and basically, says that he's not going to put them in if they protect.
Which, like, you can't say that to every female.
Yeah.
Because
he kind of did.
Unless he was like saying like, Beth's probably going to choose. I'm not going to choose you. And it was like, he probably said to everyone except for like Kendall and maybe Kellyanne, it's like, I'm just going to vote in Kendall. Because.
Yeah. Why not? It seems. Kendall seems like the odd duck out for Mark. I mean, for anyone else, Orisa seems like person. But if you have that outsider on your side, that outsider will protect him alone, which is really valuable to have in the game.
Yeah, it is. Too bad he doesn't have it anymore.
No, he doesn't.
No. He can just have all his other friends protect him.
Well, and it's especially helpful in these setups where you have like group challenges and like the team captains, because Orisa probably not going to win a challenge on her own. But if she's in a team and she just happens to be the captain on a guy's elimination day, it's very possible that she could end up with a lifesaver. A lot more likely than if it was just individual challenges the entire time.
Yeah. I think everyone was banking on classic lifesavers, like, I get to choose who goes in.
Yeah. Which would have been interesting too, because, whenever people are making public decisions to throw people under the bus. It's good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Bring this back. Get
I'm
rid
okay.
of the stupid skull twist.
I don't mind the vote though. The vote was good.
Yeah, I love the vote.
So we go to the arena. Mark talks about how he's known Katie for over 12 years, and he saves her. And we find finally out it's a vote. Yes. So how does this vote change things, Lee?
It makes people go like, oh shit, who do I say? Am I going to like show my cards? Am I going to say somebody that I think everybody else is going to vote for?
Mm-hmm.
If you're put in that position like right away, which Darrell unfortunately was, you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who's the right name to say. Like, is everybody says they don't want Kendall, but Darrell's not going to say Kendall. I don't know. So he just, I think he made the smart decision, just screaming to Beth, who do you want? And she's like, I want Orisa. It's like, okay, Orisa. And then it was like
smart.
A good cop-out answer for a lot of people being like, I'm just going to say Orisa. And then
it's so hard to be the first vote when you when it's a public vote. Because if you make the vote and it doesn't work, then you're screwed. Because you want to make sure you say the name that's actually going to go home.
Yeah, and if you're put on the spot, not given any time to talk, you're just like panicking. Like, who do I say? Because
yeah.
So
I got these votes here. I wrote them down. We have Darrell votes for Orisa. Gemmy votes for Orisa. Anisa throws out Kendall's name.
Because Anisa just doesn't like. I don't get why. This is something I picked up on another podcast I watch, LWC. Anisa just doesn't like happy people, because she fights with Ruthie. She doesn't like Kendall. Like, why them? Like, Ruthie is just there to compete, and Kendall is all smiles and gumdrops.
Well, I think Anisa sees Kendall as a threat in challenges, and if she's not close to Beth, why not throw Kendall in and see if Beth can knock her out, just by chance? Because if you don't want to go up against your biggest competitor, try to get your biggest competitor to just go up against somebody else. And these challenges are crapshooty enough that anything can happen and has happened. And just throwing the name out there, it's a live vote, it's public. Just
hoping
putting it
people
out
will
there,
jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, momentum can easily shift the other direction if people decide they don't like Kendall more than they want to support Beth. So that Kendall then throws a vote back to Anisa. That's not going to go anywhere.
No.
Gisela votes for Kendall. And then this vote is perhaps the most perplexing to me. And this is Orisa's vote for Kellyanne.
Yeah, I did not get why she voted for Kellyanne. Like, Kellyanne looked confused as well. I was like, why me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like Orisa's name has come up twice at this point.
Yeah, like,
you would think she would throw it onto Kendall to try to get Kendall to be the person and not her.
Yeah. Or even Anise, like somebody that already received a vote. You don't throw in a new person, and especially Kellyanne, who we get, like, I don't know, maybe Kellyanne was the one person she wasn't close with.
Yeah, maybe, but like it doesn't even make sense. We have a comment from Dolores. Orisa didn't seem like she even wanted to play the challenge. I kept asking, girl, why are you even on the show? Kellyanne was a throwaway vote. Yes, it was such a throwaway vote. Very much, it was strategically questionable at best. At best.
I think, that's putting it nicely, strategically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm convinced she just did eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and it landed on Kellyanne, or Kellyanne was the only name she could remember at the time.
Yeah, I feel like Orisa's heart was not in this season.
No, I mean, it seemed like she was. It was like, I'm going to win this because I should have won my first season, but...
You could say it, but like if you're not putting in the effort to go and politic with people and strategize, like you're
competing challenges.
Your heart's not in it. Like you have to do that side of the game. You cannot recluse. You cannot isolate yourself. And if you're gonna do stupid throwaway votes like here,
Roll the
Are
monkey.
you really trying to win? Probably not.
No.
So he
How the rest
then,
of these votes go?
yeah, they pretty much line up with how you'd expect. All Orisa except for Alton, who obviously is close with Orisa.
Who did Alton vote for?
Alton voted for Kendall. Oh, Big Easy voted for Anisa. That's
Ooh. Oh yeah, and Nisa like did a like little thing screaming at Big Easy.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, I wonder why he did vote for Anisa. I guess maybe he liked Orisa. Maybe he was close with Kendall.
Anisa's probably talked crap about Big Easy, so
most likely. Who hasn't?
Yeah, so you can always just use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
So Orisa's pissed though. In this challenge, so mind you, set the stage a little bit. This arena challenge looks like it's going to be really physical.
Yeah, which Beth is pleased. It's like she's good in physical challenges.
Yeah, she's really strong on the ground doing kind of wrestling type things. That's what she's won before. TJ explains the rules. It's called wall ball, and you have to pull these walls apart and then throw a ball over the walls and punch through them, which seems like Beth has the absolute advantage here.
Yeah, she's punched somebody before.
Well, she's been punched before.
Yeah, I'm sure she punched back at some point. She had to come on, with that many enemies, she had to have hit somebody, not even on the show, just in general.
Yeah, maybe outside the show. I don't think Beth has ever thrown a punch at somebody.
No.
She doesn't need to. And so this is great. I'm feeling really excited for Beth. And then the thing that happened that nobody expected, Orisa just loses it.
Yeah. Just doesn't bother and just walks out.
She takes off her helmet, and she's just like, why are you taking off your helmet? You're going to do this without a helmet?
I don't need a helmet because I'm not playing with snakes.
She says, like, fuck y'all motherfuckers.
And then TJ's like, all right, fuck you, bye, see you never.
She flips everyone off. Like Dolores said, bye, see you never.
Bye, see you never. Totally a quitter.
Yeah,
sure.
This is a quit if we ever saw one. She didn't even want to try the challenge, and oh god, it was so unexpected.
I feel like it should have been expected, just with what we've been seeing from her.
This entire time, she's talking about how zen she is. She's burning sage. She's like, "Oh yeah, I've got the spear. I got the zen. I'm burning my incense."
It's like, no, fuck you.
Maybe she's been without her weed for too long.
Maybe. Do they allow it on the show?
Not this season. It doesn't look like. And this is our first quitter, and I honestly couldn't be happier because Beth is safe.
Yes, and it's not like somebody huge quit. It's just like somebody that's like, okay, bye.
It's Orisa.
Somebody who we struggle to remember was on the season.
She was probably the biggest, out of anyone on the cast.
There were a good few Hans, but she was definitely one of them. She's definitely in the top.
Yeah. So going to our quitter draft.
Yeah.
I had Orisa on my team. So far my quitter, provided there's no more quitters this season, I win the draft. But if there's any more, we'll just say I get a point here. Hopefully there's not. Hopefully this is the one quit of the season.
Yeah, which is unique for Beth because she was in a similar situation in TJ's first season where when she went against Anisa, she was like, yeah, I'm not doing this elimination because there's no point for me being in the house with these people.
Yeah, she just hated everybody, which is...
No, everybody hated her.
Yes. But this season, Beth has people. Beth has got a really great group behind her, and... she's not the one quitting here. She didn't even get a chance to compete. Yeah,
she was on the... Which was kind of disappointing, because I wanted to see this elimination. It looked cool, but it looks like we're going to see it... It looks like we're going to see it next episode. Yeah. Give Beth the win. She technically got it, because everyone's like, well done, Beth, for winning. It's like, yay!
She's so good that you don't even have to, she doesn't even have to actually compete. She just wins it.
Yeah, she won by intimidation alone.
She's like a Dementor. She just took all of Orisa's happy thoughts and made her
sucked them dry.
It made her go batshit.
And then Mark feels bad. It's like, dude, you have like so many other people.
So the best strategic move this season is just Beth being Beth.
Yes. Beth just had to stand here, give Orisa a look, and she's like, and then Orisa just goes mad.
Yep. Oh, it was so good. This episode was fantastic. It was a surprise ending. Good challenges, interesting challenges. Great. It was great to see where like the house actually is kind of divided up. It'll be really interesting moving forward with that too.
People are really, now that people know what the lightsaber does, it's definitely going to be an interesting thought. Like,
yes,
the person who wins the lightsaber now is definitely going to be put into voting somebody into elimination.
Mm-hmm. Will we see? Yeah, will we see some people try to do some like second level gameplay with this lightsaber? You know, maybe throwing themselves into elimination just to get saved, like what Katie did.
I don't know if anyone would risk it. Unless it's like, I think it might be the only time we see it play. I hope it's not, because I do love this live public spread out voting. But it's definitely going to be more cautious on who to throw in now. Because you can't just simply ask, hey, can I have this person? And the one with lightsabers like, actually, no, I don't want this person in. You're like, here, you're safe. Pick somebody else.
Yeah, what if they change the lightsaber rules every round?
Oh my god, imagine. It's like, yeah, that was for that round. So from
this round, it's actually the other person in the arena who chooses, or it's the lightsaber holder.
Or TJ gets to pick. Or they bring back that Rivals 3 skull draw twist, or flip a card. Oh, now I want them to do that now. Like every episode.
The skull draw would be good.
Yeah, it's like, all right, all the women, please come down here. You will now be drawing cards on who is going into elimination against Gisela.
Yeah, but someone's gonna save Gisela.
No, against her. She was the one thrown in.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she was.
So where are
Anisa, best friends going against each other?
So we've gotten through 4 episodes, 4 eliminations. Where do you see the season moving from here in terms of who's gonna go far?
I think we're definitely losing all the irrelevant people, like the people we knew were not going to make it far. I think there's still like 1 or 2 left. I think once they're gone, it's definitely going to be more interesting. Like next episode, I don't know who's going to be thrown in. If somebody that never got confessionals suddenly gets 2, it's like, oh, they must be the one going home.
Yeah, I could see Yes getting thrown in. I mean, what connections does he have? Or Big Easy.
Yeah, definitely like Yes, Big Easy, Latarian. I think those are like the main 3, because those are the 3 we're not seeing.
Latarian at least has Cyrus, and so he has like some connection.
Yeah.
By proxy, maybe. Yeah. I don't know if Beth and Gemmy have any connection with Latarian.
Yeah, I see Latarian being a captain and losing the challenge again.
He would do that.
Yeah, and then for the women, a roulette wheel of a lightsaber.
Yeah. Dolores' roulette wheel for the lightsaber. Yes, let's do that.
Yeah. All right, they bring the Wheel of Fortune out. It's like, who's going in?
They used to do a wheel for like picking the challenges in one of the
seasons. On the Gauntlet 2, it was like a wheel of eliminations. Like it would randomly determine what elimination you'd go against. Oh, and in Gauntlet 3 too.
Yeah.
So there was like
back when the challenges were like low setup for the production, so they could just do it in an afternoon.
Here's a blanket. Here, we're going to wrap you in blankets. Roll across the beach.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's like, oh, they have like a full construction to do. Like they're not going to do this in a couple hours.
Yeah. Here's this overwater obstacle course that you're going to compete at blindfolded backwards and while on 1 foot.
Or
while
you're just
being
gonna
pelted with tomatoes.
or he's gonna wrestle a pole out of somebody's hands.
Yeah, here's a pole. While pole wrestling.
Such a good name.
Yeah.
I guess in the preview for next week, it's going to be the big log carrying challenge, which I'm excited to see. This is kind of like your preview for the final, to see who has what it takes.
It's a halfway through mini final episode that we get sometimes in these challenges to see like how these people's endurances are, and I think a lot of people are going to be looking at players that talk a lot that aren't that good endurance wise.
Yeah, I think this is the time where they really try to pick out the people they either do want to go in a final against or don't want to go in a final against, and this is the challenge that will determine where those votes go. Which I still think that we have this. I think the female side's a little bit more interesting than the male side.
I mean, that's usually
politically
common with. That's usually common with most reality shows. The women tend to be more interesting than the men.
Because we have this really clear divide with like Beth and Gemmy are paired up. We have
Kendall and Kellyanne. Anisa and Gisela.
Yeah, Katie's kind of treading the line somewhere in the middle.
Katie's like with everyone and no one.
Yeah.
And then you got Ruthie.
And Ruthie.
And then John A.
Ruthie and John A. So there's all these pairs really. And we'll see where they end up falling in the future. The guys, I don't feel like I've seen them interact together too much. I guess we saw, was it Derek with Mark at the table in the bar?
Probably, yeah.
So he was kind of making the deals with Mark.
Yeah, it's known that those two are friends. It's like the only thing we have with guys story-wise is like Nehemiah with Gemmy and Cyrus with Big Easy. Not Big Easy.
No one wants to race with Big Easy is his storyline.
Cyrus with Beth. Oh, actually, we might be seeing Alton and Gisela. Look, something happened there.
Yes, they might be coupling up, which interesting pairing.
Isn't Gisela married?
I'm not sure. I don't. Apparently not, or not for long. Not that has stopped people in the past. Although maybe not for marriage. I feel like I can't recall anyone like cheating on their partner if they're married. Just if they were
not on a challenge season. Maybe after a season, because the only married couples we know of that have been on a challenge have been Danny and Melinda and Tori and Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Which, well, and Jordan and Tori, but
yeah. You're not a fan of Jordan and Tori?
Nope. Well, they're not together anymore, so.
Oh, they're not?
No, I think Tori cheated on him.
Oh, interesting.
It becomes you'll learn more on Double Agents.
Okay, I'm a few episodes into Total Madness now, so I'm almost there.
Good luck.
Thanks.
It's like
I could use it.
It's the one challenge season I like stopped watching.
So far, it's not bad. I don't mind the twists of having to go into elimination as much, as long as it doesn't last forever. Which with challenge formats, it never does.
Hopefully, it goes after these 2 seasons.
I think it will. They switch things up so much. So I'm not sweating it. It's kind of fun to see the Big Brother and Survivor people there to some degree. It would be more fun if they were people I wanted to see.
Yeah. There's going to be. I think the only Survivor people we have is Jay and Natalie Anderson in the next season after.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we'll get more. I know Michelle from Survivor Korong is always being asked for. I think there's a rumor that she was supposed to be on War of the Worlds 1, but declined to go do Winners at War.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they cast better Big Brother people, because the ones they're casting are no. Where are the Big Brother Canada people?
Good question.
Yeah, like where's Ika? Where's Demetrius?
There's already
Kayla?
They're already taking from out of country, so there's no reason not to dip into Canada.
Yeah.
The last thing to bring up for this. Sorry, continue.
I know. I was just saying the one Canadian player they brought is probably the most invisible player ever.
Who was that?
Point proven. It was
I
like
don't.
Shailene from like War of the Worlds 1. She was Leroy's partner. She came from The Bachelorette.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember. I just watched that though. I would not remember if not if it wasn't for that.
I only remember because I have a weird memory with casts.
Yeah, that's why you're here, because I don't. So we have one last thing to ponder about, and that was the preview for next week. Talks about a twist at elimination. Is this going to be a double or something else?
I say it has to be a double because what other twists for elimination can there be?
Mercenaries, maybe?
Who would they bring though?
Brandon?
Maria just shows up.
No.
Oh.
Rachel?
Emily Schroen.
Yeah, I would be excited for some mercenaries. That would be the twist I want. I don't necessarily want to double at this point. I guess there could be.
Maybe.
It seems early to trim that much fat.
I mean, apparently there's only 9 episodes, so maybe it's not that early.
Maybe, according to Wikipedia, which we'll see if
we're
that's
halfway
true.
Through.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna cut down. So yeah, maybe there's a purge, and that's how they can get us down to a final group. But there's still a huge cast, though. There's no way there's 9. There can't just be 9 episodes. I don't see it, because they'd have to end with at least, at most, 10 people, right?
Yeah, 10 or 8.
Yeah.
And then like cut half of them halfway through a final. Maybe it would be a double elimination mercenary episode. Like it's 2 guys, 2 girls, and they have to go against the mercenaries, like in Vendettas. But the mercenaries are new school people, so we have this old school versus new school.
Yes, I would. I'd be here for that. Let's get some mercenaries who are like, hey, we're young.
Yeah, like let's get.
Watch us roar.
Yeah, like we got Corey, Millionaire Mitchell, Nelson. What other girl is good in eliminations? Cam. Oh yeah, Killer Cam. Let's see let's
Anisa
have
versus Cam.
Yeah.
Well, for Anisa, it's like, oh wait, I've been on all the seasons with all of you.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I remember you guys. We were just last season together. How are y'all?
Yeah.
Who won?
Anisa's had a quiet season so far.
Yeah, just that one fight with Ruthie, the makeup with Trishelle, and
yeah, it's pretty quiet overall for her. I think it bodes well.
Yeah.
I think it means she might be around for a minute.
Who knows? Or she could go home next episode. Oh wait, no, next episode's a guy's day.
Yeah. Well, for our winter draft, both of our teams are mostly intact. The only person we've lost is you've lost Tech from your team.
That's really it.
Otherwise, you still have Derek, Nehemiah, Katie, Kellyanne, and Kendall. And I have Alton, Darrell, Mark, Anisa, Gemmy, and Ruthie. So we'll see if we can hold on to our people next episode.
Yeah, we'll see. Can you finally lose someone?
Maybe. I'm feeling good about my picks. I think if I lose anyone next week, it would probably be Alton, considering he's going to get a visibility spike. And I kind of thought he might go earlier in general. So
it would depend on what the elimination is and who he's against.
Yeah.
Like if it's Hall Brawl against a Big Easy, sorry Alton, but if it's like Speed against Big Easy, sorry Big Easy.
I don't know that Big Easy has an automatic win in Hall Brawl against.
Yeah, not anymore. Like, yeah, he had that whole thing with Wes, but
yeah, but Wes isn't as fast. Like Alton's fast.
Wes is fast. Wes is
fast, but he's not like he's probably not as fast as Alton in terms of running.
No, definitely. I don't think anyone can be.
Yeah. So as far as a sprint goes, because then even if Big Easy pushes Alton back, Alton could still sprint to the finish. But
yeah, he could easily slip by.
Yeah. Well, this has been really fun. Thanks for watching us. For those who've been watching, those who have been commenting, we have Dustin, Tamika, Dolores. Thanks for not quitting.
Yeah.
not throwing, not quitting on us, and sticking through all the way to the end of this podcast. It's been really fun. We're going to keep covering this season. Next week, we are going to hopefully have a guest with us. Somebody has stepped up. If you also would be interested in joining us and talking about the challenge, you can get in touch with either of us on Live Reality Games. Also, we have wonderful schedule of podcasts that go on throughout the week. You can find everything by subscribing on YouTube to Live Reality Games podcast or liking us on Facebook. We will be back next week, Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, Lee. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.